Attention please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is a picture-perfect day here in Toronto. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a great day for a great game. It is time for baseball. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Today, it's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in Game 3 of a 4-game set from Rogers Center here in Toronto. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay. Well, home runs played a big part in yesterday's game. Yankees fell behind early. They had a comeback that fell short, but it really turned into a Friday night version of Home Run Derby.
Yeah, and you kind of expect that up here with the roof open. Toronto's always known in this ballpark for being run-friendly, and it got started early. Look at Michael Pineda's reaction. He knew it right off the bat. Josh Donaldson. And, of course, when this guy hits it, you also know it right off the bat. Up in the second deck, bouncing high and deep. Aaron Judge now leading the majors with 18 home runs, and then on the back of that, Starlin Castro gets the Yankees right back in the game. Another 2-run home run in the same inning, but Toronto wasn't done, and neither was this guy, Josh Donaldson. What a big part of their lineup now, healthy again. Goes down and digs out that curveball, and then Osuna, the closer, has been hot lately. He's now 7 for 7 over the last 11 games, and that'll do it for the Yankees.
You know, you mentioned the Judge 18th home run. Let's take a look at the Volkswagen League leaders. This is where this guy stands in the American League. 5th in batting average, 1st in the majors in home runs, 3rd in RBIs, 1st in runs scored, 3rd in on-base percentage, and 2nd in slugging. Forget about Rookie of the Year. Those numbers will put him in line to possibly contend for the Most Valuable Player Award. Let's take a look at today's pitching matchup, brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. Joe Biagini is going to get the start for the Toronto Blue Jays, and for the Yankees, it's the rookie Jordan Montgomery, and he's having a typical rookie season. A little good, a little bad.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. He bends, but he doesn't break. The kid's got some guts, I'll give him that. He's got the repertoire to work. He's got 4 pitches, and when he's on, he can mix it up and be very unpredictable. The changeup's down, the slider curveball combination. I think he probably just needs a little better fastball command, as you see there. When he gets in trouble, he gives up the hits, and it's always about the middle of the plate. But he keeps the team in the game. He's got strikeout stuff. He certainly misses a lot of bats, and so far, pretty good for a young kid, as you said, Michael. This will be his 11th start today.
All right, so we should have a good one here this afternoon when we come back. Lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees and the Blue Jays coming up next, right here on Yes. It's no lie. This is one of those great days to be alive. Just perfect. Absolutely perfect. Not too hot. A little bit of a breeze to cool things off. As you can see, there's not a cloud in the sky. The only thing up there is the CN Tower, which is beyond the right field grandstand. And it's just great for Game 3 of this 4-game set. In fact, with the roof open, why don't we check the weather today? Because it is pertinent with the roof open. The game time weather presented by City MD. Feeling under the weather? Just walk into City MD Urgent Care. 66 degrees, not much wind. Humidity is 39%. It is mostly sunny and cool. It's outstanding. In a word, outstanding. So the Blue Jays take the field. So we'll take a look now at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. Yankees coming in 31 and 21, and they'll lead off their left fielder, Brett Gardner. Batting second, the center fielder, Aaron Hicks. Aaron Judge in right field will hit third. Cleaning up the DH, Matt Holliday. Sterling Castro at second base will bat fifth. Batting sixth, the shortstop, Didi Gregorius. Chase Headley at third base, bat seventh. The number 8 hitter, just a day off for Gary Sanchez, so Austin Romine will catch. And at first base, Rob Refsnyder, he'll bat ninth.
Here is Joe Carlo Biagini. A lot of time in the bullpen, has got his chance to start now. Probably fighting for the 5th spot right now with Francisco Liriano once Aaron Sanchez comes back. Notice just the 9 walks in 42 innings. And let's tell you a little bit more about Joe Carlo Biagini. Our pitcher scout report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And as we said, he's a strike thrower. Just 1.93 base on balls per nine innings. That's 6th best in the league. Josh Tomlin of Cleveland is the best in that category, and he's amazing. Just 0.57 walks per 9 innings from Tomlin. And a groundhog as well. That's a good combination. He throws strikes. He gets a lot of ground balls. The 3rd best rate in the league. It's almost 61% ground ball rate. First in the league is Dallas Keuchel in Houston, and his teammate Marcus Stroman is second in that category on ground balls. And the proud father, Papa Rob, his father was a pitcher for the San Francisco Giants organization in the early 80s, and just lasted about 2 years. But you talk about living vicariously through your son. His son has now made it, and you know that's one proud papa watching his boy out there.
Why don't we check out the defense behind Biagini, and it's presented by Geico. You've got Barney in left today, Pilar in center, Bautista over in right. In the infield, Donaldson, Tulowitzki, Travis, and Smoke. That's third and first. Pretty good defensive infield. Haley behind the plate. The next still bothering Russell Martin. And on the mound, as David just detailed, Joe Biagini. So the first 2 games have been split. Yankees won 12-2 on a Thursday. On Friday night, which was last night, it was 7-5 Toronto. Brett Gardner's ready. Biagini is ready. And let's do it here in Toronto. First pitch swung on and fouled away, and we are underway. Eric Cooper is the home plate umpire. The crew chief, Gary Cederstrom, at first. Gabe Morales at second. Adrian Johnson is over at third. We mentioned Yankees 31 and 21. The Blue Jays 27 and 28. The 0-1. Gardner went hitless yesterday, so his modest hitting streak of 5 games was snapped. 7 for 23 so far on this road trip. Swing and a tip to stay alive. Now Biagini, like a lot of relievers that transition to starters, they work out of the stretch. Simplifies things, not as complicated, not as many moving parts. Pilar shades towards left center for Gardner. And that one is slapped the other way. It is a foul ball. Here's the split on Biagini. 14 games as a reliever, 3.38. They're remarkably similar. And as a starter, this is his 6th start. 5 previous games, 3.86, 226 opponent's batting average against.
Biagini was a starter his entire minor league career. You know, we've noted before he was a Rule 5 draft pickup by the Blue Jays, and looks like a steal. real feather in the scouts' caps when they can find a gem like this.
Grounded to first, backhanded nicely by Smoke. He'll take it himself, one away. And here he is, Hank Aaron Hicks. He continues to do it, 10 for his last 20. 6-game hitting streak. Joe Girardi revealed today that Jacoby Ellsbury's still suffering from headaches. The headaches have come back, and he's going to see a neurologist when the team returns to New York, either Sunday night or Monday morning. And we had a shot yesterday of Girardi with his arm around Ellsbury in the dugout. And he was just telling him, you've got to take your time with this. You can't rush it, because Ellsbury really wants to play. Who doesn't want to play when a team's playing well? And David, he actually was playing well before he got hurt.
Yes, and you think about the Yankees outfield, and there's the conversation, almost fatherly, from Joe Girardi that Michael was talking about. And not only the best outfield, the best 4 outfielders going right now, the depth.
And that is our injury report, brought to you by Montefiore, doing more in state-of-the-art health care. I thought it was very unusual, David, for him to take that approach in the middle of a game. I mean, the game was actually going on when he had his arm around him, but obviously Ellsbury is really bothered by the fact he can't play, and got very disappointed when the headache returned. And there's no real playbook for concussions. Everybody comes back at a different pace.
That's a great point. And a lot of times there's delayed reactions. You think you feel good for a couple days, and then all of a sudden you have recurring symptoms, as Ellsbury has shown.
The 2-1. Grounded softly right side. Travis is there. 2 away.
Biagini, true to form. We talked about him being a groundhog, a ground ball specialist. 2 ground ball outs to start the first inning.
So here is Aaron Judge. Leads, well, he's second in the American League in slugging at .691. Trout is first, but Trout is going to fall out of the top spot because he's on the DL and will not have the requisite at bats. Just a matter of time. So, you know, we showed the stats, David. People talk about Rookie of the Year. This guy is going to be considered for the MVP if he keeps this up the whole season.
Without a doubt. He's been that good across the board. In fact, you're in defense as well. Talk about a meteoric rise from a kid that had to wait till almost the last day of spring training to find out if he made the team or not, to starting the season batting at the bottom of the order, and now right in the middle of things, batting third.
Just whispers across the outside corner for strike 1.
Get a look from the overhead camera, plenty of plate, and that's what makes Biagini an interesting starter candidate with that big hook.
Boy, nobody wants to come inside on Judge, but you almost have to pick your poison. He's quick enough to turn on the inside pitch, but he's strong enough to take the outside pitch the other way, as we saw last night. Strike 2.
Gets the call on a high cutter. And I guess when you're 6'7", your strike zone is a little taller.
3-2. Just missed. Judge walks. Now we apologize. We do not have any batting practice moonshots to show you. Yankees didn't take BP today.
It is disappointing, right? Looking forward to it.
There's Matt Holliday. Fly ball right field. Bautista puts it away, and that'll do it here in the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left. Yankees nothing, and the Toronto Blue Jays coming back. Blue Jays starting lineup put together by manager John Gibbons. Kevin Pillar in center field leads off, batting second. Third baseman Josh Donaldson. He had 2 home runs in yesterday's game. Jose Bautista in right field will hit third. Cleaning up the DH, Kendrys Morales. Justin Smoke in first base will bat fifth. Batting sixth, the shortstop Troy Tulowitzki. Devin Travis at second base bats seventh. Batting eighth, playing left field Darwin Barney. Luke Bailey is going to catch, and he's going to bat ninth.
Here's the big lefty, Jordan Montgomery, on the year as he finishes up his warm-up pitches. Don't let the record deceive you. He hasn't had a lot of run support. That ERA, the strikeouts, very good ratio to innings pitched. The walks a little high, although better as of late. Let's tell you a little more in our pitcher scatter report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers, and he really does keep them in the game. Really hasn't had any blowouts. Doesn't let the games get away from him. Even the games he struggled, you still feel like the Yankees have a chance to come back and win the game, and part of the reason is he keeps it in the park. Only 5 home runs in those starts so far this year. That will be tested today in this ballpark against this right-handed mashing lineup, and really it's about the chase. He gets hitters to chase his pitches out of the zone, particularly his slider changeup combination. He is third in the major leagues in that category at almost 35% chase rate on his pitches out of the zone. First in that category is Zach Greinke, and then Clayton Richard is second. So that's a pretty good number to have for a young pitcher if you can miss bats in your rookie season.
Here's Kevin Pillar. You know, Meredith asked Joe Girardi today, what do you like about Montgomery? What don't you like? He said, I love the way he competes, and even when he's not, doesn't have his best stuff, he's still competing out there and keeps you in it. He said, I love the fact that he has 4 pitches that he can throw at any time. Popped up, shallow right field, coming on Judge. He does and makes the play.
Well, you mentioned, Michael, that he's now in the MVP talk, and this is one of the reasons you forget the slugger. He's played great defense, and that's about a 20-foot long skid mark. 6'7" and 280 coming at you. Rubber flying.
They probably felt the earth move in Guelph with that dive. Here's Josh Donaldson. And then when Meredith asked Joe, what do you like about him? Those were the things. And what don't you like? What can he do better? He said, I wish he, fastball command would be something that I'd like, and, wouldn't walk as many batters. But this is a work in progress. I mean, he's just a kid.
All the tools are there. This curveball slider combination that he features has been excellent. The fastball changeup combination on the command side needs a little refinement. But to keep him in the game part, and the thing you referred to, Michael, and his 61 minor league starts, he never gave up more than 4 runs. So that's the type of guy that can find a way. He's got a knack, just that knack feeling that's hard to teach. Adjustments on the fly are the toughest thing for a starting pitcher. Second time through the lineup, third time through the lineup, finding something that works out of your 4 pitches.
High fly ball, right center. Hicks is there for the second out. Let's check out the Yankee defense presented by Geico. We've seen Judge in right, now Hicks in center. The only one missing is Gardner. He's over in left. We'll go the other way in the infield. Headley, Gregorius, Castro, and Ref Snyder third to first. Romine behind the plate. Montgomery is on the mound. You know, Joe got really fired up before the game. A writer asked him, you know, Chance Adams is doing so well and Montgomery has options for him. And Joe held up his hand. He said, "You're going to go there? Really? You're going to go there?" He said, "This guy has no business even being thought of to being sent down. How could you bring that up?" He said, "Also, let's give Chance Adams a chance. He hasn't been in AAA that long." I think the Yankees are all in on Montgomery.
Yeah, they fought hard for him to make the team out of spring training.
He wasn't even on the 40-man roster.
That was the decision that was tough to make back then. You burnt a roster spot in order to get Jordan Montgomery here to start the season. They ended up losing Johnny Barbado, pretty good reliever, over that decision.
2-1. 2-2 on Bautista.
Chance Adams is having a great season once again. He might be their best pitching prospect, just 22 years old though, and 6 starts in AA and 4 in AAA so far.
Swing and a miss. Strong first inning for Montgomery. He retires Toronto in order. We'll go to the second here at Rogers Center. 0-0. Yanks and the Blue Jays on yes. Conversation brought to you by Toyota. Prius Prime is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. How would you summarize Brett Gardner's career in pinstripes? Defire Girl 14, a tenacious player who consistently gets the job done while flying under the radar. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius Prime to keep the conversation going. So 1 base runner in the first inning. The walk to Judge. And now we go to the second. Castro will lead off against Biagini Castro 5 for 20 on this road trip. A lot of people have, and you probably had a different workout regimen as well, David. A lot of people have different ways to get ready during the offseason. And Biagini, I think, is one of a kind. At his house, where he could throw in the backyard, he has a big life-size poster of Big Bird. And he throws pitches at different parts of Big Bird's body, and on the top of Big Bird's poster it says, "You can do it." So that's how he motivates himself. That's similar to what you did, right, David?
Big Bird, yeah. I mean, I don't even know how to answer that. That's right up there with Daniel Norris living in a van down by the lake. And that story of his in the offseason.
Foul back.
There's Daniel Norris, was former lefty here in Toronto, now pitching in Detroit. Biagini's got a good sense of humor. He's handled himself well in interviews. He actually went to the Jimmy Fallon show last year, and Jimmy ran up in the seats and was high-fiving the audience and whiffed on Biagini.
Strike 3. Castro down looking. He does not agree with that call.
Does not, and we get another look here. It's got plenty of plate. The question is, it's probably low. And this will be the confirmation. Yeah, that's borderline at best at the bottom of the zone. Castro's got a right to be a little upset with that. But yeah, he kind of got snubbed by Jimmy Fallon, or he got whiffed on the high five. So Jimmy Fallon got so much grief on social media that he brought him on stage and completed the high five. So Biagini's got that on his resume.
Hit sharply and grabbed there by Travis. 2 outs. Here's Chase Headley. Chase is 5 for 19 on the road trip. Yankees lost 2 out of 3 in Baltimore, and they've split the first 2 here in Toronto. Tomorrow's the road trip finale. Monday's an off day. Then the Red Sox come to town at the stadium. Red Sox having some difficulty with the Orioles in Baltimore, losing the first 2 games of that series.
You know, Manny Machado starting to heat up, and you knew that was going to happen.
And the Yanks will have to deal with the Orioles again, because after the Red Sox, it's the Orioles that come to town. .93 miles an hour, fastball strike. Just missed.
Pretty good combination. Biagini at 6'4", the high fastball and a big curveball off of that 4-seam high fastball. Also has a cutter and will 2-seam it as well. So he's got a starter's repertoire. This is the at-bat that Chase Headley had more often in April than in May. 3-2 count, working it.
Grounded right down the line. Smoke right there. And Biagini retires the Yankees in order. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the second. Nothing, nothing. Break brought to you by T-Mobile. Two pretty good pitchers last night. Dallas Keuchel got his 9th win. This one recorded against the Rangers. Major League leading 9th win, and he was on the DL for 10 days. Clayton Kershaw recorded his 2,000th career strikeout last night at Milwaukee. Take both of those to start your staff. And the Astros just running away with it in the American League West.
Yeah, Keuchel's healthy again this year after an off year last year on the heels of 2 years ago that Cy Young Award winning season.
You see the patches on both teams' uniforms. It says play ball. And it's an initiative for youth participation in baseball and softball all around the country, in the United States and in Canada. All teams are doing it. And they have it painted on each side in foul territory, first and third base. One and two on Morales. Did he go? Yes, he did. Morales down on strikes.
Well, good looking curveball down in the zone, well located, and Montgomery looks sharp today. Right on the borderline on this check swing. I'm a pitcher. I say he went. Montgomery continues with his ability to get hitters to chase out of the zone, as we noted in the pregame. So far, one of the best in the league.
Well, the Yankees have 3 pitchers that get you to do that. Outside the zone swinging, 36.8% of the time for Montgomery. Pineda 39% of the time. Tanaka 37% of the time. And David, just your basic swing and miss. Montgomery is 6th in the American League. 12.6% of his pitches are swing and miss. And one more stat from the advanced statistic part of the broadcast. He has the 3rd lowest hard hit percentage. So 24.7% of balls put in play against him are hard hit. Only 2 guys are better. The guy we just showed you, Dallas Keuchel, is first. Irvin Santana is second by just a little bit. That's why you really can't get caught up in 2 and 4 with a 4.11. Teams look beyond those numbers.
Yeah, you know, old school translation is the pitcher's trying to stay off of the barrel of the bat, trying to entice soft contact. Hitter trying to find the barrel of the bat, hit it hard. That's where you get the luck factor, in the middle somewhere. When you look at these Yankees and Aaron Hicks as an example, is his production sustainable? Well, all the peripheral numbers say yes, because he's more selective. He's not swinging out of the zone, not chasing all of these pitches. And from the pitcher standpoint, Jordan Montgomery's record should be better. He's not had a lot of run support so far, and for the most part, doing his job.
And he walks smoke. And he gets a quick visit from Austin Romine. Here's Tulowitzki. One and 0.
Get an early read on home plate umpire Eric Cooper's strike zone today. A little more high than low. Although Starling Castro would disagree, as he was rung up on the one low pitch he did call today. Generally speaking, Eric Cooper's been a pretty good umpire back there. Pretty consistent. Every umpire is different. You know, that's when you start talking about looking into the future. Will there ever be an automated strike zone? Well, the human element back there is still a big part of the game. Every umpire's interpretation is different. So many variables involved in the strike zone. The count really means something. A pitch on a 3-0 count, we called an automatic strike, would not be called maybe on the first pitch or with 2 strikes. It's just a lot of variables that go into the traditional strike zone.
Well, the pitcher has a tough enough job. I'm curious, David, would you have rather had an automated strike zone where you didn't have to see what the interpretation of the strike zone was that day?
It's hard to say unless you try it and get a chance to try it out, like test driving a car. Would it be more fair? Yeah, probably in the long run. But would it be more boring? Probably in the long run.
3-1. 2 straight walks. And this is the part of Montgomery's game that Girardi said he would like to change. So he retires the first 4 batters, and he walks Smoke and walks Tulowitzki.
It seems like Montgomery has better command of his breaking stuff than he does his fastball. The combination of 4-seam, 2-seam, bouncing back and forth has been difficult for him.
Here's Travis. Swing and a miss, and he hits Romine on the swing, knocks his mask off.
It's one of those times you're glad you have the old school mask, which is much heavier, more protective. Not a direct hit, luckily, for Romine on top of the head.
High fly ball, left field, going back Gardner on the track. He'll make the play as the runners retreat. Travis just missed it.
Devin Travis is all the way back with a big May and 16 doubles, and you're right, that just gets in. The location is definitely inside corner or even off a little bit. It's up, and Travis just doesn't quite get the barrel of the bat on it. And Gardner's getting really good at faking people out, kind of looking back at the wall, drifting.
Here's Darwin Barney playing left field today. David, when you pitched here, did you feel that the balls traveled more with the roof open or closed?
Ironically, a lot of times it traveled more was when there was a humid day here and there was threat of rain and the roof was open, and then they closed it right before the game time and kind of trapped some of that humidity in. That's when the ball really seemed to jump out of this park. It always carries fairly well here.
Popped up, right field. Judge is there, and Montgomery works around the 2 walks. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We'll go to the 3rd. It's 0-0 on yes. Brought to you in part by CityMD. If you need a doctor, just walk into CityMD Urgent Care. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2017 models. Big crowd here at Rogers Center. You'd have to say it's close to a sellout, not quite. There's some seats open, but in the upper deck. But this is a large crowd. The Blue Jays are the first team in the American League to go over 1 million in attendance this year. Austin Romine will lead off.
Something about a day game, Michael. Sun-drenched field, short sleeves, summer's arrived.
That's just a breaking ball with no bite. Romine fouled the ball off his left leg in Baltimore. Here it is, above the guard, and he was walking around the clubhouse after the game, and there was literally a softball-sized bump right below his knee, and there was some worry that it would have been broken, but it wasn't. And obviously they've gotten a swelling down, and here he is playing today. You got to be tough to be a catcher.
The tools of ignorance, but actually got that one swinging the bat. You see, he's got it up a little higher now.
Now it'll hit lower. 1-2.
Michael, Austin Romine actually had that X-rated, came back negative, and it was so bad that players were actually coming over and looking at it and saying, "Are you sure you're okay? You're okay with that?" He could barely put pressure on that leg, but he said, "I could play. I'm fine. Don't worry about it."
He's waited too long to be in the big leagues to ask out of a game or go on the DL. Here's Rob Refsnyder. You know, Refsnyder had 2 hits in the final game in Baltimore, and then again Girardi put Chris Carter in at first, hoping that Carter would go off on a home run, but he continues to struggle. So now Refsnyder's back in the game. You know, Girardi was asked to assess what Carter's done. He said, well, he has 14 RBIs in 100 at-bats. He said, so over full season, that's certainly not an awful year. He said it's less than what we expected of him. And the home runs have not been there. He was trying to be kind in his assessment. Grounded up the middle and booted by Tulowitzki. Booted again. And Refsnyder will reach.
Pretty good at bat for Refsnyder, and hits it hard, but you're right, Michael. The first boot and then the second, and that's the old stick a fork in it. Off the heel, got a bigger hop than he anticipated the first time, and then goes with the glove. The glove's not designed to do those kind of pickups. It's supposed to catch it.
So that's an E6 as Refsnyder reaches. And here's Gardner back to the top of the lineup. He grounded to first in the first. Foul ball.
You know, Michael, you brought up advanced metrics, and since Brett Gardner's come into the league, would you think that he's been the best base runner in the major leagues?
Does that include base stealing?
Includes everything. First to third, extra bases, things that don't show up in the box score. One of the things I love about sabermetrics.
I would say he's up there, but the fact that he doesn't steal bases would knock him from the top, in my opinion.
Quantitatively speaking, but from an efficiency standpoint, he's over 80%.
Right.
Success rate, but really, he's got 38 base runs from base running, according to some of the sabermetric stats, which is #1 since he's been in the major leagues, and that's everything. Scoring from first on a double, going first to third. All the productive base running things that don't show up in the box scores. It's not just about stolen bases. It's about how well you run the bases. That's one of the underrated parts of the game that hasn't been quantified for years that now is finally being quantified.
So he's at the top?
At the top. He
Wow.
has the most, arguably the best overall base runner. Things that go unnoticed, you know, a double. Brett Gardner on first. How many times have we seen him score from first on a double? Or automatically go first to third on a single.
1-1. Tried to push bunt. Foul ball.
Of course, we saw Brett Gardner's defensive value over the years and finally was rewarded with a Gold Glove last year. So when you take base running, his offense, and his defense, it's a very underrated player since he's come to the big leagues. And now he's got the homer bat working.
Runner goes. Check swing, throw to second. Stolen base for Refsnyder.
Good timing from Refsnyder. Good timing, got a good pitch. Down in the dirt. What a job to pick this from Melee and get that off, even though the throw's wide of the target. Just the effort itself is outstanding. Refsnyder adding value, playing first base and stealing a base.
So he's in scoring position and a 2-2 count on Gardner. There has not been a hit in this game in the top of the third. Two-two. High fly ball. Right center, long run for Pilar. And he runs it down for the second out. Refsnyder tags and goes to third. Boy, did that ball travel. And that'll bring up Aaron Hicks, Yankee center fielder. And speaking of outfielders, let's check out the cold hard facts brought to you by Clean, Crisp, Coors Light. These are incredible numbers. This is the Yankee outfielders, all right, all of them. So they're second in average, and the Braves lead them by half of a point. The Braves are 302. First in the big leagues in home runs, first in RBIs, first in runs scored, first in on-base percentage. So the outfield doing some job.
All offensive stats, not factoring in defense or base running, as I just mentioned, and they do all of that well. Very good defensively out there, range, covering ground. Aaron Hicks with a cannon for an arm. Aaron Judge with a very good arm as well.
Two and 0.
Aaron Hicks has just stopped chasing bad pitches. All of a sudden, is it sustainable? You know, sometimes you see guys go on hot streaks and you say, well, they maybe just got a magic wand for a bat. Everything's falling in. We've certainly seen that, but his whole approach has changed.
Just foul.
Aaron Hicks walked 30 times last year in 123 games. He's got 28 walks already in 42 games this year. Night and day.
Refsnyder at third. Hicks at the plate. He's more of a cesta than a glove. Time called, and Maley wants to go out and talk with Biagini. Biagini's 27 years old and a 26th round draft pick. And here he is in the big leagues pitching well. Giants picked him in the 26th round, and the Giants, and David mentioned this in the scouting report, that's where his dad played in the minor leagues, never made the majors. Two-two. That's a spoiler, just got a piece. Two-two. Down the right field line, fair ball, it's trouble, it's a fair ball. Scoring Refsnyder. Going to second is Hicks, he'll stop right there. Another double, another ribby, and it's 1-0 Yanks. When it's going good, it's good.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Put this in the magic wand category of doubles. Out in front, staying alive with 2 strikes, just inside the line. Bautista with just too much ground to cover.
A doubles machine. 3 on Thursday, had a double yesterday, a double here again today. Here's Aaron Judge, who walked in the first inning. That's the first hit of the game, and it scores the first run of the game. Yankees up 1-0. Biagini deals. Strike.
Put a little context on that hit from Aaron Hicks there. He gets an RBI double. 74.5 miles an hour off the bat. Hit probability of 9%. That's when you're hot, according to StatCast.
So he laughed in the face of the other 91%. Fouled away. Still 0-2. So Hicks, with that double, picked up his 31st ribby, and that was his total for all of last year. So he's the same amount of home runs and the same amount of RBIs in about 80 fewer games. The 0-2 ripped into center field. Pilar back. It's going to be off his glove. Scoring is Hicks. Judge will stop at second with an RBI double, an absolute bullet, and it's 2-0 Yanks.
No, Hall of Fame broadcaster Tim McCarver used to call this a tracer. And he really, I mean, he got out there in point blank. Great view here. Pilar knows it. It's just so fast. It just eats him up. He's about 400 feet away, and he got eaten up by a scorching line drive.
And that's a good center fielder.
One of the best.
Yeah, it's hard to get handcuffed 400 feet away.
The great. Yeah, there you go. You need that glove. Maybe would have knocked it off. The great Dizzy Dean used to say the hardest ball when he was pitching he ever saw hit off of him was a line drive through his legs that the center fielder had to back up to catch. That's the guy you got to feel like he was talking about Aaron Judge.
41st ribby for Judge. Here's Holiday. All unearned runs for Biagini, but they count on the board because of the error by Tulowitzki.
Just in case you were wondering, Michael, that was 116 miles an hour off of Aaron Judge's bat. 116.2.
Now, David, you just keep waiting for the fairy tale to end, and he doesn't seem like he has any intention of having it end.
Well, it's the backup, the way he backs it up with his approach, willing to take the walk. Listening to the veteran, Matt Holliday, about staying up the middle with his approach. The ability to hit the ball out anywhere in the ballpark. That's what makes you think it's sustainable.
2-1. Strike. 2-2. Judge getting a big lead at second base. Chop to third. Donaldson gets Holiday. And that'll do it. But not before. Yankees scored 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 big error, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the third. 2-0 Yanks. On Friday, June 9th, for one of the hottest collectibles of the season. It's Reggie Jackson bobblehead night, the second in the 2017 collectible series presented by AT&T for the first 18,000 guests in attendance. Now for tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. All right, so Jordan Montgomery has a 2-run lead, 2-0. As we go to the bottom of the third, it'll be 9-1 and 2 in the Blue Jays order, starting with Luke Maile. Maile has started all 3 games so far in this series. Russell Martin, the first day, they said his knees were sore. In the last couple of days, they say his neck has been bothering him. He's an important part of that lineup. Maile does a good job defensively, but he is not what Martin is offensively, although now he has a 4-game hitting streak. Nice play by Headley to keep that out of the outfield. It would have been a double.
Indeed, you're right, Michael, as this is ticketed down the line, and Headley does indeed save a double.
So 1 on, here's Kevin Pillar. There's a strike. Pillar hit a shallow fly ball to right. Diving play. Diving toward home plate by Aaron Judge. That started off the first inning. Well, you certainly don't want to be putting people on in front of Donaldson and Bautista and Morales.
Kind of a typical Montgomery start so far. Trying to find that fastball command.
Line base hit. Maile moves to second.
A high changeup. Pilar hits it like he threw it.
Now to bring up Donaldson. Flied out to center in the first inning. Donaldson has espoused his theory of hitting. And anybody who asked, including kids, he said if your little league coach or youth coach tells you to hit on top of the ball, tell them no. He said all you can do is get ground balls. He said, I hit the bottom of the ball. He said because they pay you to hit home runs and doubles.
They pay him to hit home runs and doubles, not everybody. Know your role.
Well, you see guys though changing with the launch angle, which we now know about. One guy who's done an unbelievable job reworking his swing with the A's, Yonder Alonso. All of a sudden he's hitting home runs he never hit before because he's lifting the ball. It's hard to argue with these numbers. In 2015, his first year with Toronto, he won the MVP. Pretty good year last year. Popped up, Romine makes the play, one away.
Good job by Montgomery there, throwing off the timing on Donaldson. A hard guy to fool. A big out right there, first and second. Now you got one. Now you're looking for the ground ball.
Pitch outside. Bautista struck out in the first inning.
So one of the hardest things for pitchers, Michael, is to feature two different kinds of fastballs, especially starters. And I had this conversation with the great Mel Stottlemyre, pitcher and pitching coach. Sometimes early in the game, you got to ditch one, either a four-seam or a two-seam, and get command of that. Seen young Jordan Montgomery early in this game kind of try to feature both four-seamers into righties and two-seamers away, and bouncing back and forth, kind of ending up hurting your command on both pitches. Sometimes you zero in on one and get it working before you mix in the other one.
Gets away from Romine, but runners stay put. And they check with the first base ump. They say it's a strike. You can see Bautista does not agree. Close.
Still one of the most ambiguous calls in the big leagues. The interpretation of what a check swing really is.
Foul back here. Now Romine wants to talk with Montgomery.
You know how I feel about it, Michael. You know, we talked about the check swing, what is or not, the old school, oh, did you break your wrist, or intent, as if an umpire can get into somebody's head and tell whether he intended to swing the bat. You know, we've talked about it. I say it should be like the end zone in the NFL. It should be the plane. The front of the plate is the plane up in the sky. If your barrel breaks the plane, it's a swing.
The 1-2. You'd have to involve, radar and things like that.
Yeah, but that's part of it. I guess, if you're going to make it reviewable, which would slow down the game even more, you can kind of see that, though. But the front part of home plate, just like the end zone, straight up. And the reason I say that is if the bat head enters the strike zone, we've seen check swings turn into doubles when they get that far out.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Goes down on strikes for the second time against Montgomery. So 2 away.
I don't think there's going to be any doubt here, and no argument. Another look from the side. Clearly a swing, and no doubt about breaking the plane at the front of home plate on that one.
Here's Kendrys Morales. He struck out in the second inning. First and second now, 2 outs. Yankees lead 2-0. And a strike from Montgomery.
The slider curveball combination from Montgomery has really been exceptional. Curveballs for strikes and sliders down for swings and misses.
1-1.
It's the changeup fastball part. You know, it's kind of 2 parts to a pitcher. You look for a formula. How am I going to go about getting out right-handed batters? What's my formula for lefties? Curveball, sliders. Curveball for strikes, sliders for strikeouts. It's the fastball changeup combination that he has a little trouble in terms of command.
Fouled right back. 1-2.
Trying to come in. Up in his eyes. Hard to get on top of that one. Morales, a notorious free swinger.
One, two. And that got Romine. And he's in obvious pain. Athletic trainer Steve Donahue out, along with Joe Girardi.
Almost had a flashback there, Michael, of the videos of Thurman Munson writhing in pain in some of the 70s old school videos. Hopefully Austin's all right.
Right off the knee. Even though there's protection there. Wow.
Yeah, without protection, that's a fractured patella. Top flap is obviously a little thinner, a little more give there.
One, two. 2-2.
Montgomery's best option here is that slider, down and in, off the plate. Gets a lot of swing and misses with that. Breaking stuff, breaking in, looking like a strike, ending up a ball.
2-2. Still 2-2. Now it's 3-2. The runners will go. 3-2, 2 outs. Runners go 3-2. Swing and a miss. And Morales down on strikes. So you're thinking about baseball as a career, and you're saying, yeah, I want to be a catcher. I don't know. Maybe think again. We'll go to the fourth. Don't miss a new episode of WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper gives his thoughts on this big stretch of games against AL East opponents. It's all new tomorrow at 5, only on Yes. So Montgomery works out of trouble after allowing successive singles to open up the third. Audi scoreboard has the Yankees up 2-0 as we start the fourth. Starlin Castro against Joe Biagini. And a strike. Castro struck out looking in the second. Chop to third. Donaldson fires across to get Castro. Here's Gregorius, who grounded to second in the second. One and 0.
Biagini's been pretty impressive to me, Michael. Even though he has been a reliever through last year, you mentioned his starter numbers in the minor leagues.
Two outs.
Because combination of a good repertoire, a couple of different kinds of fastball, curveballs, and sliders, along with his ground ball tendencies, that could bode well up here in Toronto in the rotation. He's fighting for his spot, as we said before. He and probably Francisco Liriano, who came off the DL last night and had a decent start against the Yankees, once Aaron Sanchez comes back. If I'm Toronto, I'm taking a second look at Biagini.
There's Headley. His first big league start was May 5th of this year, and he did well against Tampa Bay. 4 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts. Toronto won the game 2-1. Last time he made a pro start was in 2015. He was at AA Richmond. Foul ball down the right field line, and the reason he got the chance here, all the injuries, and Matt Latos was designated for assignment, just totally ineffective. So they said, let's give Biagini a shot.
You look at the makeup, he's a strike thrower, excellent control, doesn't walk a lot of guys, among the league leaders. He's a ground ball machine, and he's got a big hook, a big curveball to throw off the timing.
High fly ball, right field. Bautista comes on and makes the play as the Yankees go down in order, 1-2-3. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees 2, Blue Jays nothing. By New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Amazing things are happening here. Let's take a look at Montgomery.
Well, on the bench, Michael, the old saying was make a pitch. When you get yourself into a jam, you're always one pitch from getting out of it, and Montgomery can make a pitch without a doubt. We've seen him kind of bend but not break throughout the early part of the year, but the kid can make a pitch and he can get a strikeout when he needs it.
There's Justin Smoak to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees lead 2-0. There's a strike. Smoak walked with 1 out in the 2nd. And then Tulowitzki walked right after him. But as David said, he made pitches. He got Devin Travis, a long fly ball to left, and then Barney with a fly ball to right. That was in the 2nd. Now in the 3rd, back-to-back singles to open up the inning, and then the heart of the order, he gets Donaldson to foul out to Romine. Then he strikes out Bautista and Morales. Outing scoreboard, 2-0 Yanks. Fly ball, deep right center. Going back, Judge will make the play in front of the warning track for the first out.
Smoak looks like a different hitter, doesn't he? He's dangerous. Even batting right-handed.
Last 21 games, David, coming into today, hitting .358. Some people didn't understand Toronto giving him the deal they gave him. Never been great. You could find that sort of player, but he's been the player they wanted when they signed him. Tulowitzki fouls it back.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to get pigeonholed into a platoon guy because his left-handed bat always seemed much stronger than right-handed, but this year putting them both together.
And the incredible thing is what he signed for, and the way he's playing now is an absolute bargain. He signed 2 years, about $8.3 million. Grounded right to Castro. They had him play beautifully. 2 away. So 2 down. That'll bring up Travis. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Travis put a scare into the Yankees when he hit a long fly ball to left field in the second, but Gardner made the catch on the warning track. Pitch outside, 1-0. Wave through that one, 1-1. Two nothing Yankees. We are in the bottom of the 4th inning. These two teams have split the first 2 games of this 4-game set. This is game 3, the 2-1. Line right at Headley in a 1-2-3 inning for Montgomery. 4 in the books here at Rogers Center. We go to the 5th. Yankees 2, Toronto nothing. Thank you, Bob. Here in Toronto, top of the 5th inning, it's 2-0 Yankees on the GMC scoreboard. Cardinals and the Cubs. I mean, we talk about the Yankees and the Red Sox, a great rivalry, but those 2 teams and those 2 fan bases, they don't like each other. So that should be a fun series this weekend. Austin Romine fouls it away.
Yeah, they even fought over announcers, right? Harry Carey?
Yep. The 0-1. Rounded to first. Grabbed there by Smoke. He trips and flips and gets Romine.
Watch Austin Romine in the effects of catching, as Michael said. Got a little hitch in the giddy up and got some pain going on there. Tough kid.
And that's the residual from being hit on the knee. So here's Refsnyder. He reached on an E6 and came around to score the Yankees' first run on the Hicks double. Also stole a base that inning. One and one. Each team with 2 hits. And the 1 error by Toronto allowed the Yankees to score their 2 runs, because both runs unearned. So Romine started the inning striking out. Then Refsnyder reached on the E6. Then Gardner with a fly ball to center. So there's the end of the inning. But that allowed Hicks to get a double and Judge to get a blistering double off the glove of Pilar. And that's the 2 runs. Swing and a miss. Refsnyder down on strikes.
Good spread in velocities. You see the grip and the big true curveball. 12-6. Biagini on the top end, 93 to 95 miles an hour. On the low end, that curveball in the mid to upper 70s. So excellent spread in velocities.
Here's Gardner. He's 0 for 2. Grounded to first and a fly ball to center. One and 0. And the pitch. Strike on the outside corner. Fastball. 1-1.
Made up for the 3rd with the 4th and the 5th so far, in terms of pitches by inning.
One and 2.
Fastball's got some run on it, Michael. 93 miles an hour and some movement.
And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strong inning for Biagini. He's retired 7 Yankees in a row since the Judge double. We're halfway through. Yankees up by 2. Better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
We've got to work on that blackout part. Chance Adams was down in AAA. They did an interview with him, and he said the blackout's blocking him from watching the Yankee games.
Really?
I guess where maybe he doesn't have the right technology or the right app working, but I understand there's a lot to it, but never been a fan of blackouts, Michael.
You've got to let Chance Adams, wasn't he?
Yes.
GMC scoreboard 2-0 Yankees as we head to the bottom of the 5th. There's Barney. And there's a strike from Montgomery.
Still remember trying to watch a Chiefs playoff game against the Dolphins, that Christmas Day famous playoff game that ended in double overtime, and we were blacked out at home.
Why? Because the game wasn't sold out?
Back then, they were blacked out in the home market back in the 70s.
Wow.
I remember my dad, we had the old rabbit ears, and he had the tin foil, you know, where you're standing by the TV adjusting the rabbit ears, trying to get a feed from Topeka, Kansas.
There's the strike.
It was in and out all day. Every now and then we'd get it and stay right there, hold it right there. And
that was every kid's responsibility. You had to change the rabbit ears or hold them. And if you had to stand up there for 3 hours, you had to stand there for 3 hours.
It was a playoff game.
Swing and a miss. Barney down on strikes. Both pitchers are dealing right now.
Well, high quality curveball down and in. He's been really good at executing those types of pitches.
Here's Luke Maile. One and 0.
Chiefs lost in double overtime. Garrell, your premium. Jan Stennard missed a couple kicks. That's when Garrell, your premium, ran out on the field saying, "I'm going to kick a touchdown. I'm going to kick a touchdown." He beat the Chiefs.
So I guess you got that station from Topeka.
In and out all day.
1-1. And obviously no ill effects for you holding the aluminum foil for over 3 hours.
No, I still hold the grudge on the game, though. Devastating loss.
2-1. 2-2. And the pitch. Maile grounds one through for a base hit. Now, this guy is not known as much of a hitter, but the Yankees have not been able to slow him down. 2 for 2 today.
Yeah, it's the definition of seeing eye ground ball right here. Take it and run.
Now has a modest 4-game hitting streak. He's 5 for his last 12. Started the day hitting 097. Now he's riding on I-25. makes the seats down the right field line. 1-2. Yankees 2 runs on 2 hits, and Toronto no runs on 3 hits with 1 error. Well, the Blue Jays, after an awful start, they have been in last place in the American League East since April 12th. And their power gain was non-existent early. Just 22 home runs in the first 25 games. Now in the last 31 games, 54 home runs, and they've really taken off. They're 1 game under 500 now. The only team that has had more home runs over the last 31 games than Toronto is Tampa Bay with 55. And the Rays are just amazing. They strike out a lot and they hit a lot of home runs. So that's your first job facing the Blue Jays. Keep them in the park. 2-2. Line foul. Nice play by the ball boy.
Good point, Michael. What a turnaround, month to month for these Blue Jays. From April to May, and now here we are in June.
2-1. Popped up, shallow center. Castro back, makes the play. 2 away. That's going to bring up Donaldson. Also, what was unusual at the start of the season, and all of this happened because of all the injuries they had, they started 2-8 at home. This has always been a good home field advantage for them. So in their last 15 games here at Rogers Center, they're 11-4. That's what you want to do. You want to get fat at home and play about 500, a bit over on the road.
They really developed a home crowd advantage here. A buzz.
Missed outside to Donaldson. Josh is 0 for 2. Fly ball to center, fouled out to Romine. A lot of the right side of the infield open as Castro shades up the middle and Ref Snyder holds the runner. 1-0. 2-0.
Great ballpark to see full like this, Michael. And I know I'm a little biased since I played in the early 90s here in the 92 season, and they drew 4 million, sold out every night. But something about this place when it's full and the home runs traveling up 3, 4, 5 decks.
The thing about it, David, it's still relevant. It still seems new. I mean, they've really kept it up beautifully. It doesn't seem like an older ballpark. I mean, it was futuristic when they built it, and now it's right in its time.
Yeah, Sky Dome was awesome. Still 20 minutes just to close the roof, and it still works. Unlike the one in Montreal that never worked.
Three and 1, so Montgomery working himself into problems here. 3-1 count. And the guy who hit 2 home runs yesterday. And Bautista waits on deck. Bailey leads off first. And the 3-1. He walked him. So that puts runners on first and second, 2 outs. Brings up Bautista. So far, Montgomery has handled the Blue Jays right fielder. He struck him out twice. Bautista with 10 home runs and 28 runs batted in. Nelly's at second. Donaldson's at first. 2-0 Yankees, bottom of the 5th inning. Grounded to third, backhanded by Headley. He'll step on the bag, and that'll do it as Montgomery wiggles out of trouble. No runs a hit. 2 men left. Will go to the 6th. 2-0 Yanks. Game. Stay tuned for the latest episode of Yankees Magazine for a look at the defensive skills of the Yankees' talented outfielders. Plus, get a recap of last week's Hope Week homestand, along with an exclusive profile of pitcher Luis Severino. It's all only on Yes, and we're going to look at Severino again tomorrow. Pretty good pitching matchup tomorrow. Severino against Marcus Stroman. How about the series that Aaron Hicks is having against the Blue Jays? 7 for 11. That's convenient. 636, 5 doubles, 7 ribbies, and 3 runs scored. He leads off against Biagini. Two nothing Yanks. Tries to bunt. So the Blue Jays have left 6 runners on base today, have not been able to get the big hit. In this series so far, the Blue Jays have left 17 runners on, and the Yankees 16. But an incredible stat from last night. It was a 7-5 Toronto win. Neither team got a hit with runners in scoring position. The Jays went 0 for 9, the Yankees 0 for 7. There had been only one other 9-inning game in the last 12 years in which the two teams combined for 12 or more runs that had no hits with runners in scoring position. That was in September of 2015. Dodgers beat the Padres 8-4 in LA. And that's off the Blue Jays notes, courtesy of Elias.
A modern day baseball game. Home runs, strikeouts.
Hicks doubled in a run. His last time up, he's 1 for 2. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball to Smoke. Flips to Biagini. Hustling Hicks is beaten to the bag by the Blue Jay pitcher.
And Hicks was hustling, running very well. Biagini's got to get there. And by a step, he does.
Seat on Yesmo, brought to you by your Tri-State Mercedes-Benz dealer. I mean, David, do you see it the way I'm seeing? I mean, we're seeing a fire from Hicks that we didn't see at all last year.
Looks like a different guy, without a doubt. Across the board, everything about him.
He's got to feel great about his game. A little hop in his step. Playing very good baseball. Here's Aaron Judge. Judge hit a double his last time up that, I mean, you just don't see very often. Kevin Pillar is an outstanding center field. The ball got out there so quickly, it clanked off his glove, and Judge was rightfully given a double and an RBI, but just blistered the ball. The 0-1. 1-1.
Yeah, we kind of joked, Michael, and you said it. It looked like it handcuffed Pillar. 116 miles an hour. Pillar's to the races, and you kind of get lost in the shadows there. But he got glove on that ball, but it just almost overmatched him. Almost got handcuffed about 385 feet away.
Swings to a fastball. 1-2. The RBI. Judge's 41st of the year. Two and two. He's just made a habit of laying off those pitches.
He's starting to get a reputation for having a good eye, because that's really close. I know he's tall. Biagini's had a really good curveball today.
We're in the 6th. 2-0 Yankees. High fly ball down the right field line. On the run is Bautista. It's a foul ball. Now, David, as different teams play the Yankees, you start to talk to their announcers, and every one of them marvel over Judge, and everybody has a different assessment and a different observation. And Pat Tabler, who was a nice player in his time, and one of the broadcasters for the Blue Jays, said, I'm just so impressed by how steady his lower half is. He says it's just like rock solid. You see Pat on the left and Buck Martinez on the right. And if you look at his lower half, it is rock solid when he's getting ready for the pitch. 2-2. Strike three. Judge down looking. You don't see people go inside that much to Judge, so when they do, they've got to make their pitch.
And make it he does. Plenty of plate at 94 miles an hour. And Biagini continues to impress.
There's Matt Holliday. Matt's 0 for 2. Fly ball to right, ground ball to third. And there's a ground ball to short. Gobbled up by Tulowitzki across the diamond. 10 in a row retired by Biagini. Yankees go down in order. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-0 Bombers. of today's New York City FC match as David Villa and the boys in blue battle the Philadelphia Union at home in the Bronx. Watch NYC FC presented by Etihad Airways tonight at 8 right here on Yes. Morales leads off the bottom of the 6th against Montgomery. One and 0.
I like the sound of that. Can you start calling me David, please?
David Cone?
David Cone.
Okay. Ground ball is short. One away. Along with David Cone and Meredith Morakovitz, I'm Michael Kay. We thank you for spending part of your Saturday afternoon with us. Yankees lead the Blue Jays 2-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Little pitcher's duel going on. 2 unearned runs. That's the only runs in the game.
It's been legit on both sides. Quality pitches.
Here's Smoke. 0 for 1 with a walk. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Yankees have 3 infielders on the left side, with a switch hitting Smoke batting from the right side. The center fielder Hicks shades toward right center. So pull on the ground, go the other way in the air. Foul back.
.91 pitches. This is, for me, Michael, the kind of game, you know, Montgomery deserves to be in this game, but if there's trouble in this inning, a 2-0 game, who would you go to in the pen, depending on matchups? Montgomery had a similar game like this earlier in the year in a 2-0 game. Start talking about high leverage situations. When is the game going to be won and lost here once you go to the pen? How do you best maximize your resources in the pen? When to use your best relievers rather than slotting them. This is my 7th inning guy. This is my 8th inning guy. This is my closer. Montgomery gets in trouble here. It's going to be the turning point of the game. So if you have to make a change in this inning, who are you going to bring in? Who's your best chance? And this will be, or it would be, the highest leverage situation potentially.
Fly ball, shallow right. Coming on is Judge. Castro gets out of the way. 2 outs.
Of course, if Jordan Montgomery cooperates and just goes 1-2-3, that'll solve that. It's much easier. My contention is it's much easier for a reliever to start an inning with a clean slate, nobody on base. The toughest time for a reliever any time to come into the game, whether it's the 6th, 7th, or 8th, is with men on base. And a lot of times those situations are allotted to a lower man on the totem pole, so to speak, because he's your 6th inning guy.
And you're saying the game could be won or lost in the 6th?
Yes, I think you should definitely consider utilizing your best relievers at different points during the game, depending on leverage.
Tyler Clippard is up for the Yankees right now. The 0-1. 0-2.
If you have the luxury of having a couple of power arms down there, say if Chapman was available, then that leaves you with Betances to kind of float in those innings rather than just save him for the 8th inning. I'm not a fan of slotting the 7th, 8th, and closers.
Now Clippard sits and Warren's up. Fouled away.
Jordan Montgomery can make that all of a moot point right here if he can bury Tulowitzki. Then you'd have the bottom of the order up next inning for the Jays.
Did he go? No, he did not. Grounded foul, so making Montgomery work. Montgomery, a fourth-round draft pick by the Yankees in 2014 at the University of South Carolina. He certainly paid off so far. One-two. Foul back.
Well, Yankee fans know that left-handed starting pitchers that you draft and develop are hard to find. They're few and far between. When you get one, he's gold.
Like Andy Pettit.
Andy Pettit, ring a bell?
And the pitch. Line drive, foul. Almost a great play. That is a bearded ball boy. He can't be that young. They're both watching the ball boy do his job.
Kept it in front of him.
Full beard.
Ball man.
Yes. The 1-2. Swing and a foul ball. Right back. Chased a high pitch. I would say he couldn't be a Yankee ball boy, right? If the players can't have beards, ball boys can.
I think the Mets are looking for a trade. Trade my ball boy for your ball man.
1-2. Popped up. Shallow right. Coming on is Judge. He makes the play. And a strong 6 innings for Jordan Montgomery. He's pitching a 3-hit shutout as we go to the 7th. Changer brought to you by Pitney Bowes, the craftsman of commerce.
Yes. A ground ball up the middle gets booted twice. Opens the door. And there's a bloop right down the line. Aaron Hicks is hot. Stays fair, of course. That'll send him in, and here's a blast. Yes, Blast can stay in the park and handcuff outfielders apparently now with Aaron Judge's bat. So the game changer by Pitney Bowes.
So Castro will lead off against Biagini on the Cadillac scoreboard. 2-0 Yankees. Now I've got a good question for you, David. At least I think it's good. So Montgomery's right around 100 pitches. Bottom of the order coming out. Do you let him pitch the 7?
He might be tempted, yeah, because it is the bottom of the order. And he looks to be rolling. He's getting better as the game has gone on. Right now you're staring at Travis, Barney, and Melee.
Right now, no action out there.
The problem is if you run him out there and then there's trouble, now you've got the high leverage situation, and which reliever do you use?
Well, right now the slots that you don't like would be Warren in the 7th, Clippard in the 8th, and Betances in the 9th. So Warren was the guy warming last inning.
Which generally, with nobody on base, is okay. You know, I mean, the slotting, the problem with slotting comes with men on base. So theoretically, you run Montgomery out there, and then you know, let's say a base hit and a walk. Now you got first and second, nobody out. What's your best chance to win that game? You bring in Betances right now to get out of that inning, and then you go ahead and let Clippard and Warren pitch the next 2 innings with nobody on base because it's a lower leverage situation. That's the theory. Why do you have to save the closer for nobody on base in the 9th inning when the time to use your best reliever under this hypothetical situation would be under that scenario? Next inning, you're getting a little bit of jam because you're running your rookie starter out there. That's where the game's going to be won and lost if that scenario presents itself.
Popped up, shallow left, coming on Barney, still coming, can't make the play, and it bounces almost over his head. He makes the play, but Castro's at second with a double. So that breaks a string of 10 straight Yankees retired.
Yes. Castro will take it and run. He's not leaving today empty-handed. Nice little blue double.
He's lucky that bounced straight up in the air and not past him and to the wall. He didn't run hard all the way, but he would have only gotten a double, thinking that ball was going to be caught. Here's Gregorius. Foul back.
Remember a conversation, Michael, just to finish up that point on reliever usage. Hypothetical situations quickly is talking to Mel Stottlemyre over the years. I was a starter, a young starter with the Mets. This situation, Mel would come to me and say, we need to try to get 2 positives here. Your day is done. Let me bring in a reliever and let him start with a fresh inning. So the argument for that would be Jordan Montgomery's done. Great job. You're done. Take the positive. Let the reliever start a clean inning. Whoever you choose next inning.
That one's looped into left field. That's going to dunk in there for a base hit. Here comes Castro. He'll score. Moving to second with an RBI double, Didi Gregorius. And the Yankees lead 3-0. Three important doubles in this game, 3 bloopers.
Yes. That is baseball, and Joe Biagini's going to have to wear it. Made good pitches. He did his job. That's a hard thing to get through to young pitchers. You did your job. You produced soft contact. You made your pitch. It didn't work out. You got to take it. And you hope it all evens out. And you try not to forget about the line drives you gave up that went right at defenders as well.
Yeah, the other double was about as hard as you could hit a ball by Aaron Judge. Here's Headley. Obviously, Headley wants to pull the ball here and get Gregorius over to third. Broke a part of the bat. Headley will have to get a new one.
Big, slow curveball. It's been really good all day long for Biagini, and Headley way out in front, barely off the end of the bat. Splits it right down the middle.
Danny Barnes up. Swing and a miss. So he does not get the job done. Gregorius stays put at second. Certainly not a productive out by Chase Headley. Chase is 0 for 3 against Biagini this afternoon.
3 straight curveballs, all of them very good.
Romine hits one short lead to Tulowitzki. And they have Didi in a rundown. Not good base running there by Didi. Ball's hit in front of him.
Yeah, not really even a tough read. No excuse at all. He knows it. Now you trade Didi Gregorius and his speed for Austin Romine and his gimp on the bases right now from being beat up. And not only that, you lose a base. He's now on first. So pretty easy to read that one.
Here's Ref Snyder. He's 0 for 2, reached on an E6 and struck out. Strike. Well, Warren is up again, so I think they will go with the method that you spoke about, David. Montgomery finishes. You did your job.
Yes.
Now the bullpen has to do its job. Grounded and grabbed there by Donaldson. Nice play. Goes the short way. That'll do it. Yankees get a run. 2 hits. 1 man left. Time for the stretch here in Toronto. 3-0 Yanks. The game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 3-4-0 for the Yanks, 0-3-1 for the Blue Jays. Montgomery's day is over after 6 innings, 3 hits, didn't allow a run, walked 3 and struck out 5. Biagini has been exceptional as well. 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, just 1 earned, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. Hicks, Judge, and Gregorius, each with RBI doubles. And the Blue Jays 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. So the Yankees now do go to the bullpen. It'll start with Adam Warren. And Meredith, you have some numbers on the Yankee bullpen.
Well, Michael, you were talking about Aroldis Chapman earlier. He is inching his way closer to a return. He played catch again today. Also threw a late side session of 15 pitches with no issues. He's expected to throw a simulated game next week. If all goes well, you could see him back as early as June 15th. And Adam Warren, who's on the mound right now, is a guy who had pitched really well to start the season, then had a couple days where he had a couple hiccups, and then really got back on track. The difference for him is he wasn't getting the depth on his slider. He also wasn't as aggressive. He changed the grip a little bit so the ball sits a little deeper in his hand, and that has made the difference for him.
Another thing that made the difference for him, Meredith, is that Girardi kept bringing him in there. He said it means the world to a pitcher when you're struggling that your manager still believes in you. And Joe kept running him out there even when he struggled, and he finally worked things out. Clippard is up for the Yankees right now in their pen, the 2-0. There's a strike.
That's a great point, Michael, because Adam Warren didn't really have that type of equity build up with Joe Madden and the Cubs last year. Turned into a tough year, and I think Adam Warren probably feels like, even though he got a World Series ring, he got saved and brought back to the Yankees his home.
Cadillac scoreboard showed you a 3-0 Yankee lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. A 2-2 count now on Travis, who was 0 for 2 against Montgomery. So Jason Grilli is up in the Blue Jays bullpen. So David, let's put a bow on Montgomery. What'd you think of the 6 innings?
I thought he got better as things went along. He's a pitch maker. He can pitch himself into a jam. He can pitch himself out of a jam. I thought his fastball and changeup combination were kind of the way they've been all year. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. In and out from a command standpoint. But his curveball slider combination are outstanding.
Strike 3. Travis down looking, and he does not agree with the call.
A little backdoor changeup. You see the grip. It's trying to get to the outside corner. Romine does a good job of holding it there. It looks like it's a little off the plate. Well, that's close. Maybe just off. You know that overhead camera is just a little off, and it is just off. It was trying to run back to the corner. Excellent pitch from Warren, by the way. And a backdoor 86-mile-an-hour changeup.
All right, now a pinch hitter for Darwin Barney. It's Ezekiel Carrera. He's the threat to bunt. Yankees have moved Chris Carter in at first to replace Ref Snyder, improve the defense. Pitch outside. Pitch is high. Fastball. 2-0. An announced crowd of 47,126 here at Rogers Center. There's a strike. 2-1.
Adam Warren, the type of pitcher where the sum is greater than the parts. True 4-pitch pitcher. 2-0 backdoor slider there. Never gives in.
Missed outside. 3-1 on the pinch hitter. Luke Maile is on deck. That run in the top of the 7th gives the Yankees some breathing room here. Foul back. No longer a bloop and a blast game. It's a bloop and a blast game.
In this ballpark, with the top of the lineup getting ready to roll over, that's significant. Donaldson batting second, Bautista third. It's another reason to stack the top of the lineup with some power, or your best hitters is. They're going to roll over next inning.
Checked the swing, took ball 4, so Carrera with a pinch hit walk. You talked about Montgomery, David. Let's take a look at some of what Jordan did.
Well, that slider down and in, that's his signature pitch. A curveball down and in. The slider and curveball are excellent. Good spin, good rotation, big break, straight down. Again, DeMorales. See a theme here? Not exactly Ron Guidry-like, but high-quality sliders down and in, a lot of swing and misses.
So here's Luke Maile.
That's the leverage part with Montgomery that the Yankees love, Girardi and Rothschild. The way he gets on top of that curveball and those sliders and really leverages all 6 feet, 6 inches of himself and drives those pitches down. See, Tyler Clippard.
One and one on Maile. One and two. Sound you hear in the background. They're doing the wave here at Rogers Center. Missed outside, 2 and 2. Such an important batter to get before you roll over to the top of the lineup. Carrera leads off first. Fouled back by Maile.
Could not agree more with you, Michael. This is a guy that Adam Warren has to have.
Runner goes. Strike 3. Throw to second. Stolen base. So a strikeout and a stolen base for Carrera.
Strikeout's the most important part. Stolen base, now man on second base with 2 outs can be mitigated. Good job by Carrera. Picked the right pitch to go. Got a good jump.
You know, Meredith spoke about the likely return of Chapman in a couple of weeks. And Chapman makes such a big difference, not because of the great closer he is, but the reassigned roles that everybody has. The Yankees are better when Clippard's pitching the 7th, Betances the 8th, Chapman the 9th, and then you can use Warren in any of those high leverage situations that David talked about, and he can give you a couple of innings at a time. But now Joe kind of holds him to pitch that 7th because everybody took an added inning of responsibility. They moved up. So instead of pitching the last out in the 5th and the 6th, you know, they saved Warren to pitch the 7th inning. And when Chapman comes back, order will be restored to the pecking order. 0-2 on Pilar.
One thing is for sure, and Della Betances has proved his worth once again. He could be one of the best closers in the game. He is one of the best closers in the game. He's proved it. He's in waiting. He feels his position much better now. I guess Maybe one of the things he worked on in the offseason was throwing to bases. He has gotten over the hurdle on that, but Betances is every bit of a closer.
And so when you say the Yankees are better with Chapman as a closer, that's not a knock on Betances. That just means that Betances now makes the 8th inning stronger.
Yes.
Clippin makes the 7th inning stronger, and Warren can maneuver wherever you need him.
And you and I have talked about this. The great Mariano Rivera, I think the best season he ever had was '96, because he was used as a weapon from the 6th inning on. Game over.
Soft ground ball to third. Headley throws high, but Carter comes down on the bag for the final out. So a scoreless 7th inning for Adam Warren as the Blue Jays lead 1. We go to the 8th, 3-0 Yanks. Canada as they take on the Blue Jays in the series finale. Start your game day at noon with Audi batting practice today and the Chevy Yankees pregame. Then we're back with the call right here on Yes and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. We're all excited about the pitching matchup. Marcus Stroman against Luis Severino. And here are the numbers for both of them. Severino pitching to an under 3 ERA. Stroman 6-2, 3.2 and 2.8. And again, the coverage will begin at noon on Yes. New pitcher for the Blue Jays, it is Jason Grilli. Hyundai scoreboard 3-0 Yankees, and Brett Gardner leads off, takes pitch outside 1-0. Well, you can't ask for that much more from a starter than the Blue Jays got from Biagini. Grilli has fallen to some disfavor with the Blue Jays. He has not pitched well this year. His role has certainly gone down in terms of leveraged innings, and you saw the numbers there, they're not pretty. He's been displaced by Joe Smith. Ezekiel Carrera takes over in left field.
Yeah, Biagini seemed to deserve a better fate. Well, just 1 earned run, as you mentioned, 4 hits. Good control again, only 1 walk.
High drive, right field, going back, Bautista, turning, looking, see ya! Home run, Brett Gardner. His 12th, Yankees lead 4-0.
Gardy, number 12, right into his wheelhouse. A little cutter slider right at the belt on the inner half. Gardy just speeds up his bat, finds the bullpen. You got to check out Matt Holliday on their race, the current race for who's going to hit more home runs this year.
Gardner now leads 12-11. spirited competition between the two veterans. Aaron Hicks fouled back the first pitch, 0-1. Line to left field. Carrera is there to make the play.
Aaron Judge 1 for 2 with that double and also a walk. Another very productive day. A lot of pitches seen. Aaron Judge has found the right balance, Michael, of getting a lot of 3-2 counts, not chasing, but also still being ready for a first pitch fastball.
There's a strike. 1-1.
As a pitcher, Michael, I was always trying to ascertain, is he going to spot me a strike? Is he taking a strike? And then I could throw the ball down the middle, try to steal a strike. It's one of the things that pitchers learn how to do over the years. How to steal easy strikes. Is this guy taking a strike? Trying to read body language. Aaron Judge, very hard to read.
He really does take a lot of time between pitches. You can see he's thinking through every pitch. All right, what's he going to throw me here? Because he takes a little walk after every pitch. One, two. Strike three. Judge down looking.
Just below the letters right there, borderline at the top of the zone.
So here's Holiday. Holiday's 0 for 3. There's a 4-game hitting streak going. Fly ball, deep left center. Going back, Carrera, turning, looking, see ya. The Ball brothers are tied. And it is 5-0 Yankees.
Holiday's going to go find Gardner right now. He was staring over his shoulder trying to find him in the dugout halfway through the trot. Similar. Yes, there you go. I got you, Gardy. Similar to what Gardner did to him a couple of days ago. Staring at Holiday in the on-deck circle all the way around the bases.
Here's Castro.
Hammered. Holiday's a great low ball hitter when you hit him as often as he does.
I got you, Gardy. Checks the swing. You're making ball beautiful, I'll tell you. There's a strike. 1-2.
Reminds me of that Rodney Dangerfield line and Back to School. I can't say it on TV, but you put both of those bald heads together and you can fill in the blanks.
The 1-2. 2-2. 5-0 Yankees. Top of the 8th inning.
We're getting spoiled. You know, we're seeing all these bombs that Aaron Judge hits. I mean, Holiday just hit it into the restaurant, you know, on a line. And we're like, oh, okay, home run.
We are getting spoiled.
Aaron Judge is ruining us. That was absolutely mashed by Holiday.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch popped up. See if it stays in play. Nope, makes the seats. Missed away, 3-2, so Grilly's struggles continue. And the payoff. High fly ball, left field. Going back, Carrera, he's on the track, he's at the wall. See ya! A home run for Castro as the Yankees go back-to-back, and it's 6-0 Bombers.
What you talking about right there?
Tough inning for Jason Grilly. Castro started out 0 for 3, then a bloop double, and now a blast. Turned into a great day.
This is his first solo home run of the year.
Slider. Not sliding.
That is a 10-foot wall, so it's hard to make a catch over the top of the wall. He tried, though. Here's Gregorius. Check this swing. Three solo home runs against Grilly, and the Yankees have doubled their lead.
Let me throw some numbers at you, Michael, since you know I'm such a numbers guy here. You see the bullpen, J.P. Howell. Thinking about a mercy rule. Brett Gardner, 99.2 miles an hour, went 380 feet. Matt Holliday, 107.8 miles an hour.
Fly ball down the right field line. It's a foul ball.
442 feet from Matt Holliday on a line into the restaurant. Starlin Castro, 99 miles an hour, 0.4, and that one went 385 feet. Second hardest ball hit in the inning was Aaron Hicks's line drive. That was an out. 103 miles an hour, so some loud sounds off the bat. Barrel of bat meeting baseball. Going long, going a long way.
Two and two.
Might have got my Rodney Dangerfield reference wrong. Might have been Easy Money, that movie. The two bald-headed line there. Put your bald heads together. I think it was Easy Money.
The 3-2. Fly ball, right field. Bautista back, turning, looking, see ya! Back to back to back. 7-0 Yankees.
That's the fact, Jack.
And John Gibbons will have to mercifully lift Jason Grilli, who gave up 4 solo home runs. 7-0 Yanks. The year, 3 home runs in a row. First back-to-back-to-back homers for the Yankees since June 8th of 2012 when Cano, Swisher, and Andrew Jones did it. So now J.P. Howell takes over. So Howell against Headley.
Jason Grilli's been around a long time. Well-respected veteran pitcher. Well, that was tough. That was tough to watch for him. Great to watch for Yankees in the dugout. There's no mercy.
1-1 on Headley. Headley's 0 for 3 today. Chop to first, and that will finally do it. 4 home runs for the Yankees. First up, the Bald is Beautiful gang, the Bash and Ball brothers. They each hit home runs. But then the lobbyists from the hair contingent said, wait a minute, we could go yard too. First Starlin Castro, and then Didi said, I want me some. Back to back to back jacks. 7-0 Yanks. For the Yankees, 0-3-1 for Toronto as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Third Yankee pitcher, Tyler Clippard, will face Donaldson, Bautista, and Morales. This will be the 25th game for Clippard. Just 12 hits, but 9 walks in 22 innings, 29 strikeouts. We said yesterday was a little like a Friday night version of Home Run Derby, but this Home Run Derby is just on one side and just in one inning. Before that, it was a doubles derby. Now, 4 home runs in 1 inning, 4 solo shots.
The Yankees actually came into this game averaging a little over 1.5 home runs per game, and at that rate, that was the best in the American League. It's only going to get better.
Two one. 2-2. And the pitch. Well, with the added 4 runs, looks like Betances could get the day off. Right now, Tommy Lane is warming up. All of that could change if a couple of guys get on. Grounded sharply to second. Castro against Donaldson. You know, you can't really talk enough, David, about what Matt Holliday has meant to this team, both on the field and off. The rapport that he has with everybody so early in his Yankee tenure, and the fact that he and Judge are inseparable. And the Yankees knew it because they put Judge's locker next to Holliday's in spring training, and obviously struck up a close friendship with Brett Gardner as well. That's invaluable stuff, and you just hope that a player could fit in like that.
Perfect guy at the right time. Really, to me, the payoff is an approach. Aaron Judge goes up to Holliday, as you mentioned, Michael, every day. Wait, what's our approach today? Back up the middle. What are we doing in BP? Back up the middle. Stay consistent. Stay with your approach. That pays off. He sees the ball longer. He's more selective. Aaron Judge can hit the ball out the other way like nobody we've seen maybe ever. So that approach is paying off. It allows him, as you see, there's the fast pitch speed of analytics is brought to you by Fios. 92 miles an hour. Tyler Clippard.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Bautista down on strikes.
Started spring training, you're right, Michael. Sometimes chemistry is overplayed, overrated. Guys like us throw it around. We saw this in spring training. The Yankees played very well in spring training. They started to get along. They have a rapport. It's not about joking around, although that's part of it. How well you get along, where are we going to dinner tonight? It's about business. Day in and day out. What are we doing today? We're working hard. We're pushing each other. What do you got? Little things. Brett Gardner hits a home run. I'm coming after you, Matt Holliday, even though it's a joke. That plays on a major league bench. That guy is a leader. He plays. Even though you laugh at it, you know, who would you take in a home run race, Holliday or Gardner? Gardy challenging Holliday. I'm going to beat you this year. What do you got? We've heard stories all year long about Gardner in the dugout. Okay, outfielders, what are you going to do now? Challenging each other. Does it mean something? How do you quantify that? Of course it does. Human beings play this game. That's chemistry. It's easy to say when you're winning. but pushing each other means something on a major league bench, in a major league clubhouse, pulling for each other, protecting each other. In 1998, when Armando Benitez drilled Tino Martinez in the back, and we had that ugly bench clearing brawl, that actually brought us closer together as a team. Those things matter.
High fly ball, right field. Judge will put it away for the final out. So Clippard works a 1-2-3 8th inning. We're going to the 9th. All Yankees 7-0 over the Jays. Last out for the WB Mason postgame as Bob Lorenz and John Flaherty are back in the studio with analysis of all the action, plus a look ahead to tomorrow's series finale. All that and more coming up on the WB Mason postgame, only on Yes. Now we've got some more information on the 4 home runs Danny Barnes will take over for the Blue Jays. So another Blue Jay reliever, the third reliever, fourth pitcher. The 4 home runs the Yankees hit last inning against Grilli, he became the first reliever in Jays history to give up 4 home runs in 1 inning. Now, the 4 home runs in an inning for the Yankees, foul back by Romine, just the 4th time in their illustrious history. And most of it's been recent. 1977 at Toronto, Cliff Johnson, Lou Piniella, Thurman Munson, Cliff Johnson again. Then in June of 2005 against Tampa Bay at the stadium, Posada, Sheffield, A-Rod, Matsui. Then October 1st, 2012 at the stadium against the Red Sox, Cano, Granderson, Martin, Teixeira, and now on June 3rd of 2017 at Toronto, Gardner, Holiday, Castro, Gregorius. Fly ball shallow right off the bat of Romine. And Bautista makes a play, and Romine can hardly run. Still feeling the effects of that foul ball off the left knee. So Betances is up. Doesn't that seem odd, David, that the Yankees, the Bronx Bombers, murderers row, only 4 times in their history 4 home runs in an inning?
Shows you how hard it is to do. In this case, I think we'd have to peel back a couple of layers. These 4 home runs were all off the same pitcher.
Yep.
Even more rare.
Carter gets his first at bat after taking over defensively for Ref Snyder. And he's down on the count 0-2. Swing and a miss. Carter down on strikes.
And we saw Della Betances down there warming up. His last appearance was last month on the 27th versus Oakland. So here on June 3rd, he might just need the work.
So the Yankees have 8 hits in this game. 4 doubles, 4 home runs. And leave it to Katie Sharp to dig this out. It would be the most hits by the Yankees in a game without a single in franchise history. Gardner pops it up. And Tulowitzki makes the play. Yankees go down in order, 1-2-3. Last licks, bottom of the 9th inning, coming up for the Blue Jays, 7-0 Yanks. Drives of the game.
How many? Which ones? Oh yeah, all 4 in 1 inning. Gardy jumps on it to get it started, and Holiday bombs one right on top of him. Starling Castro says, oh yeah, I went in on this. Barely over the wall, and then Didi one-hands one about 352 feet and pulls it down the line for number 4 on the inning, all up with Jason Grilli. 4 home runs, the Land Rover drives of the game.
Gave the Yankees some breathing room. 7-0, and they still bring in Betances for his 20th game. And you might say, well, why are they doing this? Well, the reason is Dellin has not pitched since last Saturday. He has not even warmed up since Tuesday. So even if they have to use him tomorrow, Monday is an off day. So this is just, let's get him work.
Yes.
And Meredith has more on Betances.
Michael, I talked to him this morning, and he said the last couple of days have been weird due to the fact that not only is he not getting in, but as you mentioned, he hasn't even warmed up during that span. He told me to stay sharp. He's been throwing on flat ground and said his arm feels good. His work on flat ground has been good. But the biggest thing he has learned over the years is to be patient. Don't get desperate, because sometimes when the appearances come, they come in bunches.
The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-2. Smokes 0 for 2 with a walk. 2 fly balls to right. So if the Yankees get 3 more outs, Jordan Montgomery will pick up his 3rd win, and the Yankees will pick up their 32nd win. 2-2. Three and 2. And when Dellin doesn't work a lot, this is the problem you get. The command is not there. Swing and a miss. Got him on the breaking ball. 1 out.
Always get the feeling, Michael, that Dellin Betances could roll out of bed in the morning and drop a 3-2 breaking ball right there for a strikeout.
Here's Tulowitzki. Want to know?
Yankee fans obviously know, and with Dellin Betances, it's been anywhere from 50-50 in terms of allocation, fastball, breaking ball. Maybe even more at times on the breaking ball side, probably maybe 55-45% of the time. So it's not like you can go up there and say, oh, I'm going to get a fastball the first 2 times and then I'll get the breaking ball with 2 strikes. Not with Dellin. It probably has better command of his breaking ball than his fastball overall.
Fastball inside, 3-0 now on Tulowitzki. Fastball up and in, so 4 straight balls to Tulowitzki. 1 on, 1 out. Here's Chavez. And a strike. Popped up on the right side. Castro comes over, calls off Carter, and Castro makes the play for the 2nd out. So the Yankees are an out away. Here's Ezekiel Carrera. Carter plays behind Tulowitzki at first. Ground ball right side. Castro to first, and the Yankees win 7-0. In the 9th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. And David, you have to like everything that you saw in this game. Jordan Montgomery, 6 impressive innings, and then the power is there for the Yankees. 4 home runs in 1 inning.
Yeah, the constant threat of the Yankee lineup, relentless, rolling over 1 turn after another. To kind of wait for the other shoe to drop. Power up and down the lineup. Great at bats. Jordan Montgomery, outstanding job in a pitcher's duel against Biagini, who also was very impressive and did not deserve the fate that he's going to receive today. But nonetheless, when you look at this Yankees lineup offensively, it's circular now, Michael. They really do just keep pouring it on, and 4 home runs in 1 inning. Pretty remarkable.